Podcast City Network.
Listener discretion is advised.
It is time to play.
You're listening to The Everett Lee Show. Let's go! A shot of entertainment to the head.
No doubt.
Sit back, relax, put your drinks up, and enjoy the entertainment.
Okay.
Now we come to the payoff.
Let's rock.
What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Everett Lee Show podcast. I'm the Everett Lee. Quick shout out to everyone who follows me on Twitter. You can follow me at the Everett _Lee, Facebook.com/the Everett Lee. Click that thumbs up. And of course, Podcast City Network, official host of the Everett Lee Show podcast. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am back again. Back-to-back podcast. Twice in a row. Last night, I hope everyone enjoyed my guest I had on last night with David C. Russell of Deathmatch Russell Podcast. I hope everyone enjoyed that. Really great podcast. And tonight, I deliver another great podcast here on Podcast City Network Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Podcast City Network. Tonight, my guest, you may have seen him in Kentucky's Own Wrestling. He is Cousin Frank. I want to welcome Cousin Frank to the podcast. How you doing, Frank?
Yeah! Man, I'm happy to be on here. I tell you what, man, you got one good podcast going on. Yeah!
Hell yeah. That's awesome, man. It's awesome. I'm happy to have you, man. You sound really excited to be on tonight, man.
Man, I tell you, I am. I this is sweeter than sweet tea, I tell you. Woo! Man.
Love it, man. Love it. Got some questions I want to ask you here tonight on the podcast. Where did you grow up at? I know you're up in Kentucky, though, but did you grow up in Kentucky?
Well, yeah. I grew up right here in the hills of the sweet Appalachians up here in Winsburg, Kentucky. Been here all my life, and man, I love it up here. I tell you, good country folk. I'll tell you. Nice.
I like it. Now, at what age did you get into watching wrestling? At what age?
Ooh-wee, man. I was young, man. I was in my diapers when my dad was watching wrestling. I remember a few times watching Hogan and Andre fight. Man, I remember that. But I remember my first ever time watching wrestling. I was 5 years old, sitting there on the floor, and it was like two gladiators fighting it out. And man, it was Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon, of what I remember. It was them two was fighting, and it was just phenomenal. Nice. Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon. That feud right there, man, that was such a great feud with those two, especially with the ladder match they had at I forget which WrestleMania it was, though, but that was a fantastic feud right there, Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels. You mentioned Hulk Hogan, your little Hulkamaniac growing up there, brother. Oh, yeah, brother. But I got to give a big shout out, the Macho Man. That was another one. He was just, cream of the crop, brother. It was awesome. Woo!
Oh, yeah, brother.
Oh, yeah.
I love it, man. Macho Man Randy Savage. The fantastic talent, and he left too soon, man. And that really hit me hard when he passed away. Now, growing up watching wrestling, did you get into watching the Monday Night Wars, the Attitude Era WWF and the WCW Nitro?
Yeah, I remember those days. My dad was big on WCW. I was big on WWF at the time, which is WWE now. But man, we flipped back and forth, and finally I realized, hey, if I just stay up an hour later, I can actually watch a WCW. So, yeah, I was big on that stuff, but I was WWE all the way.
Nice. Yeah, that was a fantastic time to be a wrestling fan, just right there, just to be a wrestling fan, and especially what WWE did and what they do with during the Attitude Era. I mean, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Triple H, the Nation, DX. I mean, that was great. I mean, you couldn't go wrong at that time there, at that time. Now, being a fan of wrestling growing up and watching wrestling, when did you decide, you said, I want to do this. I want to get in the ring. I want to be a wrestler. What made you do that?
Wow. Well, to be honest with you, that day when I was watching wrestling, I turned around and looked at my dad, and I was 5 years old, and I told him, I said, hey, I'm going to be heavyweight champion one day. But when I actually decided, hey, I want to be in the ring, I'm going to guess I was in college, and I went to a show, and I was like, you know what? It's time for a dream to be fulfilled. You know, reach for those stars and everything else. And, you know, I knew it was going to be like trying to catch a greased pig, but I worked my butt off, and you know, and here I am today. Just not regretted one moment of it. Childhood dream come true. Nice.
Now, whereabouts did you go to get trained at?
Ooh, the main place where I trained was at Pro Wrestling Freedom, PWF. They used to run up in Corbin, Kentucky. That's the main place I trained. I had some other guys show me some stuff, but my main training was done there. And you know, that's where I learned everything, everything that ring psychology and everything else. It was just, that's where I learned everything, how to get whooped and how to give a whooping.
Nice. Now, how was it when you took your first bump, man, in the ring? When you took that first bump, how was that for you?
Well, you ever been paddled in school?
Yes, elementary school. Yeah, my principal had the paddled. Yeah, good.
It was worse than that. No, it was a wake up call. But you know, I played football and other sports when I was growing up, and wrestling's a whole lot rougher, you know, than those. But that first bump, I'll never forget, because I about knocked myself out. You know,
damn.
First bump, I knocked the wind out of myself and everything. But I got right back up and did 50 more. So
nice.
I was just excited.
I would say, man, I definitely would be excited too if I got in the ring and I actually got to do that and to pursue it. I would definitely be excited. Now, what was your first match and what was your first promotion you've worked for?
Well, I wrestled a lot in Tennessee. I'm trying to remember back. My first match I actually remember was done in it was Gym City Wrestling. They're no longer together.
Uh-huh.
But I was wrestled in a tag match, and it was an eye-awakening experience, because it was a whole different world, and it was just, you know, we fed off the crowd and got kicked in the face a lot, and it was just, that was the first experience that I remember.
Wow. I would say, man. I mean, just your first experience there and stuff. Now, afterwards, where else did you go, and who did you wrestle with in the territories that you wrestled in?
Man, I've been to so many different ones. I did independent pro wrestling over there in Arlington, Kentucky. I went back to PWF one time, did a show for them, and I went to Gym City Wrestling. I've been around quite a few. And Gym City Wrestling, I had a feud going on with my former tag team partner down there, and he stole the belt from my belt chance from me, and feuded with him for a little while, and then over in IPW, did a feud with Walbride over there, and it was like fighting a big grizzly bear, fighting with him. He took every hit I gave him, and I took every hit he gave me. But that feud ended with me being put in the casket, and it was interesting. But KZW, I've been there for over 5 years now. That's my home.
Right.
And I love it over there. I've been in so many feuds over there. I've been in there with Super Assassin, did a feud with him. That feud never seemed like it was ever going to end. He just liked giving me heart punches, and he liked chopping, and I like chopping. But did that. Did a feud with Big Daddy Dalton. Ended in not a casket, but a stretcher match.
Right.
That was one of the hardest hitting matches I was in, because it was, stretcher matches are hardcore.
Yeah.
But my most memorable feud would probably be Sully Larkin. I came out, it was last year, I came out, and he was just on my hit list, and I had a dog chain, and I wrapped around him, choked him out. It seemed like every show. And we did street fights, and it seemed like almost every night we was doing a street fight, but or turned into one.
Right.
But it ended in a dog collar match.
Oh, nice.
And,
nice.
Oh yeah, top dog of the yard, But we fought each other. Now we're pretty good buddies, and that was a feud. And right now I got a grease pig keeps running from me. He won't give me my title shot. When I do get a title shot, he likes to escape and get counted out. But that's Matty B.
Yeah. I was gonna ask about Matty B. Right now, you've been going back and forth with Matty B right now for the Kentucky Zone Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. Now, you won the big battle over the top battle royal, which was fantastic right there. It was a couple months ago you won that, and that gave you a shot at the title there. But you guys, man, you've been going back and forth there. Tell me about that.
Well, let me touch on that battle rule real quick. I just got back. My tag team partner broke my ankle, and I was out for a few months. And that day I went to the doctor, and he's like, "Well, you're clear to go." So I called up, JJ. I said, "Hey, JJ, I'm ready to come back." And he says, "All right, brother, we'll put you in the battle rule." And our battle rule that we have is 2 rings. It's almost like a war game without the cage.
Yes.
And man, I'll tell you what, I gave out 9 different choke slams that night, and just to win it was priceless. But that was the first time that Matty B came out and got in my face.
Right.
And I knew right then and there that, hey, that 5-year-old's dream is gonna come true soon. And we our first match against each other turned into a tag match, because Mr. Wrestling himself, Jeremy Rage and B.W. Anderson decided they was going to get their nose involved.
Right.
And Tomahawk came out and saved me, and we battled that night, and I picked him up. I picked Matty B up, choke slammed him. That was my first win on him.
Nice.
Then we fought again, and he ran like a grease pig, and got counted out. So that was win number 2. But altogether, I got 4 wins on that little sucker.
Yeah.
And he ain't beat me once. So it's all going to come to head in June the 8th. Ring's going to be surrounded by lumberjacks, and I'll tell you what, man, I got my anti-grease gloves on, and that little piggy's not going to run from it that night. I'll tell you that.
He's not going to run. You're going after that title, man. You're definitely going after that title. That's what you want. You want the title. Matty has the title. He has a bullseye on his back, man. When you're the heavyweight champion, you got a bullseye on your back, and you're definitely going to go after him. You're going to get that title.
Woo, yeah, I'm going to get that title. I mean, that's the only title I've not won. In any company I've been in, I've never won a heavyweight title.
Right.
I mean, like I said, I was a 5-year-old little boy, and I said, hey, I'm going to win the heavyweight title one day, Daddy. And this is my chance right here.
Nice.
He does have a bullseye on his back, and guess what? I'm a pretty good shoot. So, I mean, if he's ready for a war, he's getting a war, because like I told him last show, I said, you bring your boys, I bring my boys. I'll let my colors fly, you let your colors fly. It's wartime.
It's going to be interesting, man. It's definitely going to be interesting. Deathmatch Russell podcast tuning in. David C. Russell, he says you're ready for it. He says you're definitely ready for it. And he had a question about your look that you have. Are you inspired by Hillbilly Jim with your look?
Well, be honest with you, there's a story behind my look. I'm a big fan of Hillbilly Jim and the Godwins. I loved them growing up. But what happened was my partner, I like to call him trash bags, but his name is Johnny Slade. Uh-huh. And him and the little girls that run around with him came in one night. I was taking a shower after the show, and they stole my gear. And it so happened JJ was in the locker room and had a pair of overalls on. He says, "This is all I got." I was like, "Well, I guess that'll work." So I put it on, and Johnny Slade just kept running his mouth and calling me a stupid hillbilly and stuff like that. And I said, "You know what, boy? All right." So next match, I wore them overalls, and just to be honest with you, they felt pretty comfortable. And I'm not ashamed where I came from or nothing like that, so I started wearing them.
Right.
But Hillbilly Jim, he has big inspiration on me. Man, he was a phenomenal wrestler back in the day. He's a great guy. He's from Kentucky also. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, people could say what they want. I'm me and he's him, but I know why he wrestled in overalls, because they're awful baggy and they're awful roomy. I enjoy every minute I get in them. That's
great. That's definitely great. I would say, because when I was a kid, I wore overalls a few times, and yeah, they get pretty roomy down there, man. You can move around, which is great, and well, that's why probably Hillbilly Jim wore them, and that's why you wear them. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, they're comfortable. I'll tell you what. Nothing like a pair of overalls, Plus they're working clothes, and that's what I am. I'm a working man.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now tell me about the cowbell. How did you come up with that right there? I'm interested in that right there.
Well, cowbell. Well, I used to raise cows. I love cows. I like milk. I like cheese. I like all that stuff. I definitely like steak and hamburger. But no, the cowbell is just I like to make loud noises. And I remember back in the day going the high school football games. That was one thing you used to do, is ring that cowbell to get everybody pumped up. And I was like, you know what? I got a cowbell at the house I used to use on the cows. I'm going to put my big old chain on there, and I'm going to pump the crowd up every time I go out there. And that's, oh man, I tell you, that's just what I do. I like to pump the crowd up. When they hear that cowbell, they know they're ready to watch a fight.
Heck yeah. I've seen you in action on Kentucky Zone Wrestling right there, and cutting promos on the Kentucky Zone Wrestling Facebook page there. And a lot of people are taking notice of you, that Especially, I know Matty B is. I've had Matty B on the podcast before a few months ago, and it was great talk with him and everything and stuff. And I got a lot of reaction from him on the chat right here, and I know that he knows that you're coming for him. You're coming for that title, and I'm sure everyone is behind you to take the title from him. And I definitely can't wait. Definitely can't wait for that right there, because I got the poster of the event right here. Right there. Matty B versus Cousin Frank lumberjack match for the heavyweight title. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide on Saturday, June 8th. The old Shopville Gym over on 144 Shopville Road, Somerset, Kentucky. Doors open up at 7 p.m. Bell time 7:30. Ringside seats are only $10. Bleachers $8. Children 5 and under, free admission, and now accepting all major credit cards. So if you're in the area, please come down and check out a lumberjack match with Matty B, Kentucky's own Wrestling's heavyweight champion, going up against Cousin Frank. It's going to be great, man. I can't wait to see the stuff on Facebook there on Kentucky's own Wrestling when the matches come up, man. I love that.
Oh, yeah.
I love the talent.
Yeah, hey, I tell you what, that poster you're looking at, I tell you what, that makes me feel like there's going to be a big fight that night, which I know there's going to be, because I don't care what he's going to have to hit me with a dump truck to keep me down. But yeah, I'm ready for a fight. I've been training. I've been up chopping wood and hauling hay and everything else, and eating my biscuit and gravy, because I'm powered by biscuit and gravy. But I'm ready for him, and he better be ready for me, because like I said, he's going to hit me with a dump truck to keep me down.
I'm sure he's ready for you. I mean, he's champ. He needs to be ready for any opponents that anyone in general that comes after him and wants to take that championship. And I'm sure he's ready. If not, he's going to let that title slip out of his fingers. And I know a lot of people there in KZW are looking forward to seeing Matty B lose that title. They definitely are. But with you, I think he has a challenge right in front of him, and he's never faced anyone like you before.
Oh no, he's not. No, he's never. I don't think he's ever fought anybody my size, my strength, or my countryness.
Right.
Because I'm like I said, I'm a 100% hillbilly. Love to have fun, love to dance, love just going out there having just one yeehaw. You know what I'm saying? I'm totally different kind of competitor than what Matty B's used to. Because I mean, if it comes down to it, I can play mind games too. And if it comes down to it, I can slug with the best. I was raised in the country. We had to fight for our cornbread and stuff down over here.
Yep. That's one thing you don't do. You don't mess with a country boy, because they'll come at you, man. You back them in the corner, they will come out swinging.
That's right. Country boy can survive.
Yep. Country boy can survive. I was actually listening today at work. I was listening to some Hank Williams Jr., man. I love that. I love that. What type of music, what type of country you listen to? Are you a fan of country music? I hate to ask this, but yeah.
That's what I listen to. I love my country music. I love the stuff back in the 80s and early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
I also like to listen to some old classic rock. I like that stuff, AC/DC, Metallica, stuff like that. But
yes,
man, when I hear that Hank Williams Jr. or Willie Nelson or Johnny Cash, or, things like that, man, I start getting my feet start tingling. I just want to dance. I love it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And those viewing the live stream right now, of course, I love classic rock, because, I mean, look what I'm sporting right now. I'm sporting my Led Zeppelin shirt right now. I just, check this out, Frank. I ended up getting a turntable finally, and I was going through trying to find my one vinyl I had, and I found it. I have Jimi Hendrix Greatest Hits on vinyl, and I didn't realize that with that album sitting there was another album that my brother gave me a couple years ago, which was the Eagles' Hotel California. So I got that on vinyl. I'm like, hell yeah. But I picked up the other day, I picked up 2 good vinyls. I picked up Three Dog Night and Jethro Tull. I happened to come across. Yeah.
You hear the Jag Bro, brother, I tell you what.
I did.
You know what? I like listening to those old vinyls. To me, I like them better than I do the CDs.
I do too.
You know, I just don't. It's more pure music. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. It is. And vinyls are coming back in a big way if you really look at it, because a lot of people are hitting up shops and stuff and everything. Like, we have a record shop here, Atlantic Sound Records, and they have, you could spend all day in there just browsing through the vinyl collections and just coming across something. And I recently bought a little turntable, a Crosby turntable, that has a cassette deck on the side. And also, it does play CDs, but you can also play your vinyl records and record them onto a CD. It has that built into it.
Oh.
And AM, FM.
You one lucky guy, I tell you.
I am, man. I am. I was lucky to come across that, and I snatched it up as soon as I got it. But I found Three Dog Night and Jethro Tull, and I've not played it yet though. But I was sitting there the other day playing Jimi Hendrix, and my 2-year-old daughter, jumped up right next to me there, and she's looking at the turntable watching a record spin. We're sitting there eating breakfast Sunday morning, just jamming out Jimi Hendrix, man. Jamming out to All Along the Watchtower and Purple Haze. It was great.
Oh wow,
it was great. But I was listening to Hank Williams Jr. today, man. I threw in a CD at work. I was like, I need some country music, so I threw it in there. I get the itch for it every once in a while, and I put in Hank Williams Jr. He was my father's favorite. God rest his soul. But I lived up in Tennessee for 11 years, so I'm pretty much familiar with the country and everything, and it's great.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, I don't care where you are at in the United States. There's a little country in there, a little bit of everybody. I tell you, I mean, you just can't go wrong with it. You know, you think country people, you know, we're proud Americans and everything else. I mean, hardworking people, and it's just that music. You know, I mean, yeah, it talks about, you know, people make jokes, and, you know, dog got ran over, mom got put in jail, and everything else. Yeah, that might be true, but hey, you get a country boy going, we know how to party.
Oh yeah, definitely. I partied with pretty much the best with when I lived up in Tennessee. We threw bonfires, we got shit-faced drunk, and just had a good time. I mean, we had a pretty good time. We got down, played horseshoes. I love playing horseshoes, man. Every time I go up to Tennessee and visit my best friend, I love playing horseshoes. I just love playing that game, man. Sitting there drinking a cold one. Nothing in the middle of the day with it hot. Got your shirt off. Sitting there drinking a Miller Lite and throwing some horseshoes. It don't get any better than that, man. You got a bonfire.
Oh, no, you can't.
It's great. It is great.
Oh, no.
It's definitely great.
I tell you, there's one thing better than horseshoes.
What's that?
And that's having a big bonfire, camping out next to the lake, fishing.
Yes.
With a bunch of good old people. I'm telling you. Family gets together a lot on the lake, and that's what we do. Big old bonfire, and, you know, roasting some hot dogs, and, you know, just having a good old time. And that's what defines country people. Is we're just a lot of people just want to have fun.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Now, you keep up. You watch wrestling. You keep up with the WWE. Now, what do you think, and what are your thoughts about the current product of WWE right now?
Whew. I think, to be honest with you, I think they're suffering just a little bit.
Right.
They got a lot of great talent, and it's the same people getting the push. You know, all these young guys not getting pushed. For instance, you know, hate me or not, Money in the Bank, really, that kind of made me a little upset. You had Ricochet on there, you had Ali and Finn Balor, you had all these, you know, younger guys on there. But, you know, talking about Mufasa, Andreas, and them, I mean, I think they need to give somebody else a title shot, like Kofi. Kofi, he earned it. 11 years of busting his butt, and about time, you know, we have somebody else to be champion.
Right.
But, you know, them giving it back to Brock Lesnar. I know they're making money for him not being there because people's hating him. They want to see him get beat.
Yeah.
But, man, you got so much great talent. Use them.
Yeah.
I've been in wrestling for years, and I love watching the younger guys grow up and, you know, and achieve things, but they'll never get that if you don't give them an opportunity to. And I think that's where WWE's going wrong at.
Yeah. I see where you're coming from, because I understand what they did at Money in the Bank this past weekend. I know that they were trying to do shock value, and at the same time, I feel that the guys that were out there busting their rears in that match, that last ladder match, and then you have someone who basically got paid quite a bit of money and sat at home with the championship for almost a year, comes walking in, climbs up the ladder. I mean, he threw the ladder. I had a friend over watching that, and the way he threw the ladder against the cameraman, first thing he said was, he don't look at him. He don't care about anyone except himself. And then he threw Ali off the ladder, and Ali did bust open there. And then he climbs up the ladder and takes a briefcase. I understand shock value, and from that part, I understand that. Them trying to shock and pull something that you don't expect. Then the other part that upsets me is, like, these guys bust their butts, and he walks in, grabs a briefcase. That's it.
Yeah.
I get that.
Don't even break a sweat.
Yeah. Don't even break a sweat. I mean, they did all the work, and he just walked in there, boom, grabbed it. And that's just, I get it, and then I understand both parts of it, of what they're trying to do and stuff. Now, what do you think of, what's your thoughts on that 24/7 title?
I tell you, R-Truth better be running, because if I get my chance, I'm going to get that belt. No. To me, it's a PG version of a hardcore title. Of course, we've not seen anybody use any weapons yet, so we don't know if that's a disqualification or not.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
I mean, with R-Truth having it, it's kind of entertaining, because R-Truth, he's a phenomenal guy. I've met him one time. He was hilarious. But I like that he's got the title. He's keeping it entertaining. But I be honest with you, I don't prefer it that much. Right.
I like the hardcore title where they had the 24/7 rule, because the way they introduced that, Crash was like, I'm the best hardcore champion. I can defend this title 24/7. Okay, guess what? Why don't you defend it 24/7? He's at Fun Zone, Funland. He gets jumped by the headbangers. That was great. And then WrestleMania 18, Maven. The title changed, 5-6 times? And Christian ended up running out of the arena with it, and he threw his suitcase and everything in the trunk, and Maven comes back out and jumps him, and 1, 2, 3 jumps in the car, and he takes off hanging out the window with the belt, and takes off with Christian's suitcase in the car. You see, that's great. And then, like, trash cans, kendo sticks. If they add that to this, I will love this more, but I love how R-Truth has it because it's R-Truth. He's going to be the comic relief and what he does and everything and stuff. But I really was laughing because when they introduced Title that first night, I was like everybody else in the crowd, like, But then when R-Truth got it, he said, I want a European title. I said, oh, God, we know where this is going.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and the way I didn't like how they gave the title out.
Yeah.
You know, they laid it in the middle of the ring, and first one got it.
Yeah.
I mean, but, hey, the little small guy, what's his name? He used to be Rockstar Spud.
Maverick, Drake Maverick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Drake Maverick. Does he not remind you of that little rhino that runs on after the herd on Jumanji?
Yeah. He does.
That cracks me up right there.
He does. I'm looking now. They said this title's going to be defended on Raw, SmackDown, 205 Live, NXT UK. Now I'm just waiting to be watching NXT, and all of a sudden here comes R-Truth running through there with the title, and then the NXT guys getting a hold of it, and then he goes over to 205 Live, and then he's hiding there, and then he just. That's what I'm expecting, and hopefully they'll deliver on it, and they won't drop it like they did talking about the women's tag titles, saying they're going to be defended on both SmackDown, Raw, and on NXT, and then they never did defend them on the NXT. They showed up with them. I just hope it don't fall short.
Oh, yeah. Even now with the women's tag team, when was the last time they fought? I just see them going out there running their mouths every week. I mean...
Exactly.
I mean, good personalities, great ladies, but come on, fight. You're champion.
You're fighting champion. Exactly.
Yeah.
You're fighting champion. Defend that title, man. Defend that title. Now, one thing that's coming out this weekend is... the AEW, Double or Nothing. AEW, they've made a lot of noise here in the last few months. What are your thoughts on AEW, this new promotion making waves?
Well, I know a lot of people saying this, next WCW, but to me, man, I kind of like it. Of course, the first few shows are not going to be on live TV. That's what's going to make them or not, how they do in October. But, man, I love the talent on there. I love the Rhodes brothers being, that's a good main event. That's going to be a good one. My biggest wrestler, I'm a big fan of Chris Jericho. I read all his books, watched all of his matches, and still love watching his matches, but him and Omega, man, what they did over there in New Japan was phenomenal. I can't wait to see what they do over here in the States.
Yeah.
And their women division, wow, they got a stacked card on their women division too. A lot of young ladies, a lot of young talent. But I'm give them a few years. If the TV thing works out and they can keep the TV on and don't get too big-headed and start bringing in, Hall of Famers and legends and stuff. I can see them making some noise.
Yeah. I could see that too. I could see them actually doing something like that and bringing in some more talent and letting that talent shine there. And this weekend, the Double or Nothing pay-per-view, I'm definitely going to be watching it. And I know millions of people are going to definitely be watching it and seeing what this product is going to do, because this right here, this weekend, everyone that's going to be watching AEW, it's going to basically set the ground on what this promotion is going to be. And they have a stack roster, like you said. And I'm excited to see where they go and what they do. And especially this fall with AEW being on TNT, because it's been almost 20 years since they've had wrestling on TNT. WCW.
Yeah, I think the last time was what, 2000?
Yeah, 2000.
I mean, but yeah, unfortunately, I don't get to watch it. KZW's got a show this weekend up at Somerset Miniature Golf Course, but I'm gonna keep my eye out. Keep my phone close by, and I'm gonna watch Facebook real close and see what's going on, because people post things, and that's how I keep up when I can't watch.
Yeah.
But I'm excited, and I think it's about time for WWE to have an eye-awakening experience. Maybe bring back the Attitude Era.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
I think AEW can do that. Wake WWE up.
They probably can. They probably can. They've already put a lot of things on notice there. And here's a thought. I want to get your thought on this. What would be your thought on Jon Moxley showing up at AEW?
Well, be honest with you, I would love it if they give him, let him run. Don't be like WWE and water down Jon Moxley and make Dean Ambrose. I've done the show. I actually shared the locker room when he was Jon Moxley, and it was just, watching him was phenomenal. I mean, CZW, they bloodbath up there, and if AEW lets him go and actually let him, do him,
right.
I believe there can turn some heads.
Yeah, they probably could. They probably could, because it's hinted off that he's heading there, but you don't know. But a lot of people say he is, and I'd be excited to see him head to that company right there. I definitely would be. But I've had conversations about this with a lot of people, and let him be Jon Moxley, not Dean Ambrose from WWE, and that would be great. That would definitely be great if that happens, man. It definitely would be.
Now, remember the trailer that came out with him, the promo video of him in prison breaking out?
Yeah, I remember that.
That's what fans want right there.
It is. It's what they want, and then what they want, and they're going to deliver, and they're going to give people what they definitely want. I noticed on your Facebook that are you a fan of comic books, Marvel, DC?
Oh yeah,
you are.
I'm a big Marvel fan. Love my Marvel. Now DC, I'm only a fan of the Joker. To me, he's the greatest villain of all time. But it comes to Marvel, I can't get enough of. I'm a big Deadpool fan, big Hulk fan. Just love it.
I seen the picture that you have up on your Facebook there where you did cosplay the Hulk. I thought that was fantastic, man. I thought it was awesome seeing that right there. And Deadpool, god dang, Deadpool is freaking great. I love Deadpool. And what do you think about this coming out here in the next week, Dark Phoenix? That looks like it's going to be good.
It does. I've watched a few trailers of it, and I'm liking that they're still using the younger mutants.
Yeah, the first class.
I like that. Yeah, I love that. And the girl is playing Jean. She was on that Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But I don't think they could have picked anybody better to play her.
Nah.
To be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely couldn't pick anybody. I know X-Men Apocalypse got some bad reviews and bad stuff and everything though, but I thought damn, I can't, her name just like left my head right there. I just at tip of my tongue. I just had her name, Sophia. I think that she playing Sansa Stark from Game of Thrones. Yeah, she did great as Jean Grey, and this movie's basically just gonna be about her. And this is the Phoenix that everyone was been wanting to see. That's basically from the comic. Not that Last Stand stuff that they just destroyed.
Oh, yeah, they destroyed it.
Yeah, they destroyed that. They definitely did. But The Last Stand don't exist anymore because after Days of Future Past, that fixed that.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, Days of Future Past fixed The Last Stand. So that's gone. That's definitely gone. But this is going to be great because they're using the comic book. And this one, because I think X-Men Apocalypse was set in the 80s. This one's going to be set in the 90s. Where in the 90s, if I'm wrong, don't hate me, but I believe that's where they did the Dark Phoenix saga. Was the 90s or was it the 80s? If anyone's viewing there, correct me on that.
I'm thinking it was early 90s.
Early 90s.
I'm thinking it was the early 90s. I don't, like you said, don't shoot us.
Yeah, don't.
But,
it's been forever since I've really looked at any of the X-Men comics since the 90s there.
Now, after that the new Spider-Man comes out.
Yeah, Far From Home.
Yeah, and I've been excited, since I saw the first trailer, and I'm excited about that. I think, Marvel's got 2 good movies fixing to come out, and I'm still waiting for DC to make some kind of noise.
Yeah, they definitely are. Marvel plans. What I love about Marvel, the MCU, is they plan stuff out years in advance. They look at things and say, okay, at this time we're coming out with this. This time we're coming out with this. That time we're coming out with that. DC, I mean, they've thrown some pretty good stuff together, but it's just the planning. That's why Marvel's so successful. They plan stuff ahead. They plan, execute, move on. Plan, execute, move on. That's why in the last 10 years, Marvel did fantastic with their story arc and everything. And I'm sure you've seen the Endgame, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I've watched it. I'm gonna say at least 7 times now.
Wow, man, no way. 7 times?
Yeah, 7 times. I still tear up when I ain't gonna spoil it for nobody. What happens at the end of it? I still tear up.
Yeah.
Like somebody stole the last piece of bacon and breakfast. It tears me up.
It is. It's a tearjerker. My favorite 2 lines out of that movie was Avengers Assemble and I am Iron Man. Those are my 2 favorite lines, and I love you 3000. I love that.
Oh, and Scarlet Witch. I'm telling you, when she looks at him, when Thanos is, doing his thing, and she looks at him and says, "Oh, you will know who I am."
Yeah, that was great. He's like, well, he because he didn't know. It was that version of Thanos that didn't know, and she's beating him down, doing everything, and it's like
he's like, "You, who are you?"
It's like, you'll know who I am.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, that movie had a lot of good lines in it, and it's sad to see those. So some of them characters, not going to be doing the movies anymore. But it's one thing. Marvel keeps the same characters. If you look at DC, how many Batmans have we had?
We've had quite a bit. There was, if you're looking at movie wise, Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, Christian Bale. That's 4 right there.
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck, 5. Thank you.
And then we're getting Robert Patterson. Am I saying his name right?
Yeah, Robert Patterson from Twilight.
I'm gonna tell you right now, DC, if you're listening, my Batman doesn't glitter when the sunlight hits him. Okay. So.
Oh, man. I about choked on my drink when you said that. Yeah, twinkle, twinkle.
Yeah, I was talking to one of my good buddies, and we said the only way Robert Patterson I see working is if they do a Batman Beyond and have, the first Batman as the old man Wayne.
Yeah.
And have Robert Patterson as, the new Batman.
Right. That's you bring up a good point. You bring up a really good point. Okay. Why have they not made a Batman Beyond movie? Tell me. Why they need to. They need to make a Batman Beyond movie. And they have not done that. They have not done that.
Yeah, and have the Joker with the straight jacket with the funky hair and everything. Man, I love that Joker. He was a good Joker.
Yeah.
But I mean, you had all the original villains in Batman Beyond, but you had that new fresh look on Batman.
Yeah, you definitely did. And why not? Why not do a Batman Beyond movie? Because that would be great. Because I would definitely watch it. I love Batman Beyond. I thought it was a really great TV show there. I did, especially the cartoon movie Return to Joker. That was fantastic how they did that story, bringing the Joker back, because no one expected that. No one expected that. No one did, man. No one did. And it's
So DC, if you hear that, we're calling you out. We want to see it.
Yeah, we are, DC. We want to see it, and I know a lot of people want to see it too. A lot of fans would like to see a Batman Beyond movie. They definitely would. Now, anything you want to say to Matty B before we end this podcast tonight?
All righty. Matty B, I want you to listen here, son. All right, for weeks and weeks out, you ran from me like a grease pig. All right, you've been like a hen in a chicken coop with a raccoon trying to get in. All right, I'm gonna be all over you like biscuit and gravy. I'm gonna smother you all up. I'm gonna fry you like taters. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm a hardworking man. I represent the hardworking men and women of the KZW universe and the wrestling universe, and I'm gonna beat you. Because like I said, you're going to have to hit me with a dump truck, son. Because I'm chasing that dream, and I'm going to get that dream. And I'm going to tell you right now, you can have a bulletproof vest on you, whatever. You got that hit mark on you, and I'm coming for you. So, Matty B, when that bell rings and you hear, yeah, it's going to be some country loving and some country good time. And I'm going to take you to Woodshed, boy. Matty B, just be ready. Because I'm coming.
Nice. And that happens on Saturday, June 8th. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Lumberjack match. Matty B defending his KZW Heavyweight Championship against Cousin Frank in a lumberjack match at the Old Shopville Gym on 144 Shopville Road, Somerset, Kentucky. Doors open at 7 p.m. Bell time 7:30. Ringside seats $10. Bleacher 8, and children 5 and under get in free admission. Now accepting all major credit cards. So fans, you're in the area, tune in for that right there. And I want to thank you for taking time out tonight, Cousin Frank, and coming on and discussing wrestling, KZW, and comic books, and everything in between. Where can people keep up with Cousin Frank at on social media?
Oh, right now, I'll tell you right now, I got Facebook as Big Frank Vanover. You can follow me on there. I'm working on getting a Twitter account and all this other stuff. I'm not real high-tech prone, but you can follow me on Facebook. I'm always accepting friend requests and, having people follow me on there, and more welcome. I tell you what, I got a large family that keeps growing day by day. Where's all my cousins at? So you'll come on down.
Nice. Thank you so much. Thank you. And before we close, I want to let people know that you could check out more content of the Everett Lee Show right here on Podcasting Network. If you head over to podcasting.net, you can check out the Everett Lee Show and many, many more podcasted shows on the network. Follow Podcast City Network on Facebook, Podcast City Network. Give a like and a follow, and send us a tweet on Twitter at Podcast City Net. Subscribe to Podcasting Network on YouTube for the video portions and audio portions of shows brought to you by Podcasting Network. And right here, be sure to sub and follow Podcasting Network right here on twitch.tv/Podcast City Network. Podcasting Network is your top source for independent podcast. And you can follow more of the Everett Lee Show over on Facebook, Everett Lee Show. Give a thumbs up and a like and a follow. And you can follow Everett Lee Show on Twitter at the Everett _Lee. And you can follow me on Instagram, Everett Lee Show, and subscribe to Everett Lee Show on YouTube for audio portions of this podcast. And be sure to subscribe to Everett Lee Show on podbeam.com and for audio portion of this podcast and previous podcast, and on Stitcher Radio and on iTunes. So be sure to follow Everett Lee Show right there for your audio needs. And that is it for the Everett Lee Show. And I am hitting the outro music. And that is it. I want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight and listening for the Everett Lee Show. We'll see you again next week for another exciting episode of the Everett Lee Show right here. Peace.